Hey, what's going on YouTube? Today I am here to bring you a little bit of a switcher upper or whatever you want to call it. Now, as you know, I do a lot of farming in a lot of different areas, and I do basically do a whole lot of stuff as far as to get currency up and so on and so forth. Now, I have paid the rest of the debts that I did owe for the hunter and everything like that, and I have basically, all but zeroed out my exalts. And I did this for a couple of reasons. One, having all that exalts and nothing to do with it, I felt like I was just better off taking care of unfinished business and getting anything and everything I can to have some fun gambling, posting some content available and putting it out for everyone. And two, I felt like I needed a goal. I felt like that there was there was a pretty big what do you call it? Pretty big lack of a goal for me, and having a whole bunch of exalts and nothing to buy, and with a dead market and a server that there's not too much going on right now because not a lot of people are too thrilled with the league, and the league started off pretty dead to begin with. I felt like I would kind of show you guys, you know, basically me grinding from my current amount of exalts, which is now down to 34 exalts, all the way back up to where I was. Now, what I might do is I might do currency flipping. I might do a bunch of corrupting videos. I might do crafting. I might do a whole bunch of heists. But first, before I even get into that, we're going to get to today's subject matter. Well, today's subject matter has to do with the usages of split beasts and why you should be using them as much as you can to, pretty much get the most out of what you can. So, as you know, split beasts are the Phenomenal Plague arachnids. Well, the first use for the split beast, I will say, is blueprints. Now, as you can see, this is a 4-wing blueprint. It doesn't have to be 4-wing, but if it is 4-wing, 4-wing helps you a little bit. The enchanted armaments isn't the best thing to split, but if I press L3 and show you here, we have 8 currency, 5 div, 3 fragments, and 3 harbinger rooms. Now this is really, really good because this is also lockpicking, agility, deception, and brute force, which is minimal Vindiri, I know, but it is basically means I can open as many rooms as possible without worrying about the alarm. And a lot of the times I'm just going to go to the end, I'm going to look at the end, and I'm not even going to bother touching it. So basically what I'm trying to say is if you have really good blueprints, spending about 50 chaos I think is what I spent on all of mine. I think one I actually spent 40 chaos on, and I sat there and I split this. If you look, even if you pay the markers into it, you're going to make your currency back. Now I did spend about 40 or 35,000 markers on this, and I'm down to 14k, and obviously I'm going to be working on getting that back up over time. But there is a couple of things that I am going to point out with why you should be doing this, and another usage of the split beast. Well, first and foremost, if you're doing this, the 8 currency rooms alone, that is 16 currency chests you are opening. Now, I don't have a Regal to Exalt trinket, and I didn't go out and invest in one. Instead, I have a double whatever to Chaos trinket, and it's alteration and augments, so I will be seeing a lot more chaos in my pool. And I felt the chaos is a little bit more valuable to me in some ways, because in the grand scheme of things, if I get a Regal to X, it's only going to be a 2% or a 3%. And as you can see, we do a lot of heists and we only have 323 Regals, and this is including all of the Regals we get from all content and whatnot. So Regals do not pop up as much as they used to. So Regal to X trinket is not very valuable, and Chaos to X trinket is all but non-existent on League. I have one in Standard, and they're very expensive, but on League, they're not very much existent, so realistically, you're probably not going to find one. Instead, getting the Chaos trinket is a little bit better for me because, as you see, I have a lot of Chaos stacking up, and that's all going to go into my Lyra Arthane farming for me when I decide to pay 6 chaos per map and basically open up smugglers caches and basically run quick maps. And I'm actually Cyrus farming now, so it's more of a multitask than before, and so on and so forth. And that's why I do recommend that you sit there and do this. Sorry if I am talking in circles, but obviously div the stack decks are also a huge thing. 5 rooms is 10 chests, and so far this is all in contracts. I think I've done 1 blueprint, and most of this is all in contracts, and I didn't even do a lot. I just did like 20 or 30, just enough to get a decent size of reveals saved up. I don't have markers to do another blueprint right now, so I only have revealed 1 blueprint. And this, if I go and I look in my trade board, stack decks are, on average, they're roughly 2C to 1, but 19C to 10 is, I think, the deal that you can get. As you see, there's less than a page, so if someone goes out and buys all these, then that's that much less that you're worried about. And when you're doing the math, you're gonna get, let's say, 10 chests, you're gonna get maybe 50 or 60 stack decks, which will end up being anywhere between 100 to 120 chaos just in stack decks. So when you have all those stack decks adding up and so on and so forth, you literally just sell some stack decks or open them or whatever you want to do, and then buy a split beast, split your blueprint, take your time, get more markers, get more reveals, and do another blueprint. And it is way, way, way worth it. Now, the second usage for split beast this league would be splitting helms. Well, splitting specific helm bases, should I say. First and foremost, there is the Blizzard Crown. Now, Blizzard Crowns are incredibly expensive right now. If I go to Trade Market and I look, I see a non-split here for a 4x. I see a Winter Orb. You can't split Influenced or Enchanted. I see a non-split here for 3x. And a non-split for 3x. On average, it's 3x. It looks like these people aren't splitting them to separate. It's item level 75, so that's not very good. But if you keep going, you're gonna see like 3x is like the standard. However, this 3x is more like the standard, like up front, should I say? Basically, this is what it's showing as the standard. Now, if you split this 3x helm, because it's the cheapest on the market, you can get 3x each helm if you decide to do that. However, because I run lab a lot and I like to enchant and I like to get some crazy enchants and sell those enchants to people and get more currency that way, I usually don't sell them for 3x each. I use them for bases, and if I didn't already have a helm I need to split and extra Blizzard Crowns and a bunch of enchanted Blizzard Crowns, I'd probably go out of my way and buy all of these 3x helms, split them, and reintroduce them into the market at 3x. Now, if you want to do this, you can, but I will give you a warning that Blizzard Crowns are pretty much for the, I'd like to say 1%ers, because the 1%ers all like to craft their crazy gear. So just a heads up. Another thing you can split is the Archdemon Crown. Now the Archdemon Crown is a little bit different. I got one for 10 chaos, item level 80 plus, and then they kind of vary from there. As you see, these are all 1x, but then you see here, this is 50 chaos. Well, as I said before, if I take this 50 chaos and I split it, I can sell 2 helms for 50 chaos. Or if I really had a mind to, I can go here and I can just start, I can buy up this one, I can buy up this one, I can buy up pretty much any one of these, and basically, make a crazy, make a crazy helm and split them and craft them up, make some currency if I want to, but I'm not really in the market for doing stuff like that right now, and all I'm doing is I'm kind of having fun with the league for the rest of it. I'm going to earn up currency, I'm going to spend it gambling, and just kind of go back and forth between doing that and enjoying myself. But if you did decide to do this, you can basically buy a couple of the cheap ones, buy a couple split beasts, and then you can start marking them for an exalt each for each base. But I don't know how well the Archdemon Crowns sell outside from the 1%ers. As you see, I bought another split beast, Plague Arachnid for 50 chaos, so like I said, it's pretty good. And then lastly, aside from obviously what I've showed you, you're also going to get some crazy rooms or blueprints that you're gonna not like you're gonna skim over basically, and this would be one of them. So if you see, this is a three thieves trinket for a room, but it looks like there's not a whole lot except there's 5 map rooms. Now 5 map rooms is huge. Now here's why 5 map rooms is equivalent to 10 map chests. 10 map chests gives you essentially guaranteed awakened sextants, at least 1 or 2 delirium orbed maps, anywhere between 1 to 5 orbs. If you're lucky, you get the 5. If not, oh well. And a plethora of T10 plus maps, or basically T1 plus maps, but a red tier maps. And if you're anything like me and you like to farm haywork for, you know, ritual, or you even like to farm harvest, you need those extra maps to start sacrificing them for red missions, to start sacrificing them for, you know, items, to start sacrificing them for whatever you need to sacrifice them for to get you a bit of a benefit. And then not only does it have those 5 map rooms, it also happens to have 4 of the Harbinger rooms. And Harbinger is, you know, as you know, Harbinger farming is extremely lucrative. You can get a lot of currency doing Harbinger, whether it be just raw exalts to hundreds of chaos, hundreds of fusings, everything like that within the span of a couple of maps. And then, you know, just make some big profit. So getting those Harbinger scarabs is really, really huge. Even if you get the rested ones are still really good. But I've gotten a couple of gilded this method, and I've gotten a whole bunch of ancient orbs and exalted shards and stuff like that from these chests as well. Now over here we have another example of like one of the in-your-face kind of blueprints that you'd want to split. This has 7 currency, 2 Harbinger, 3 divination, 2 fragment, and a fossil room. Now the fossil room is a kind of a hit or miss always, but I would always count the rest of them. On average, when I think of what blueprint do I want to split, I count 10 total rooms minimum. That is going to be something I want to reveal. And I think to myself, in those 10 rooms, is it going to be worth it for me to not only pay 50C to split this blueprint, but also pay the markers to re-reveal this blueprint as well? So if you were to think, let's say, like I said, this current blueprint, which actually has more rooms, this is a 13, 15, 16, 17, 19 room. This is a 19 room blueprint that I split, and this is why I split it, because there's so many rooms that I'm going to take advantage of here and get so much out of it. And out of the 19 rooms, am I going to pay the 35,000 markers and the 50 chaos I used to split this blueprint? Well, right now on average it's about 60 to 70k markers for 1 exalt. That's at least what I sell them for. And when I do farm them up and I have buyers, usually people farm their own or they buy them off market or whatever, so they don't need them too much. But when I buy them, I usually buy them at like 60k per next. So let's say it's 1 exalt plus 50 chaos to fully finish it. Now if you think about it this way, as I said, there's 5 divination rooms. 5 divination rooms equals 10 chests, equals a pretty big chunk, a pretty solid chunk of just raw currency, stacked decks, so on and so forth. Now, if you have any kind of currency duplication trinkets, all those stacked decks can double. If you have any kind of currency duplication as well, all of the fragments or shards, should I say, can double. All the currency rooms can double, and you can just get more and more and more and more value out of every single room that you invest into. So obviously my gear isn't min-maxed. I'm not trying to say it is. Eventually I will min-max my gear. Ideally, I will be rolling all of my rogues with tier 1 to 2 extra markers from primary heist targets and tier 1 to 2 currency duplication. Now these two are really good together because when you're running, for example, chain Giannas like I am, all of the stack decks are considered currency. So right now I think I have a tier 1, I have her, she's the only one that has the tier 1 duplicate plus tier 2 tier 2 duplicate plus tier 1 more markers, and everyone else just has kind of random stuff with tier 1 markers. And I get as much markers as I can out of my rooms, but that doesn't necessarily, it's not the be all end all. You want to do that for every single person. That way, not only are you getting the most out of your contracts, literally the most, you're also getting the most out of your blueprints. But that's a story for another video, so I won't get too deep into that. For now, I will say that if you do find this video informational, informative, and you do like my content, or sorry, you do like this kind of content, I will bring more of it to you and give you more of a insight on how to do things step by step, piece by piece, and where to go, what to do, and so on and so forth. If you are new to my channel and or starting my channel a little later, please feel free to check out my older videos. I cover things from farming heist to farming up the contracts. I cover things such as doing ritual. I cover things such as doing the Lyra Arthane, or sorry, the what is it, Lexajoris? Let me figure it out. Hold on. The Tyrn's End farm method, which entails basically, long story short, the Tyrn's End farm method is all it is you doing exotic goods and putting as many extra beasts. This is the zero invest method, and if you have zero currency, I would recommend starting here and then starting to buy the stones as you get the currency. It's extremely lucrative and extremely profitable. It's how I started my league and got insane amounts of currency on tier 1 maps, and then I moved it up to tier, eventually after I got my build, I built my whole build on tier 1 maps. So please feel free to check out my kind of build diary and everything like that I was doing for this league's ice shot build. If you do enjoy this kind of content, I will post more of it. Other than that, yeah, I hope I have been informative to you. There are plenty of other farming methods that I can cover, and many different ways I can cover, you know, different videos, different roles of different things, and different just all kinds of stuff overall. So if you do have any kind of interest in any certain specific farming, if you like, for example, farming for simulacrum spinners, if you like, for example, farming for just delirium orbs, if you like farming delirium maps, if you like farming any content at all, let me know. And if I haven't already covered it and it's not already on my channel, I'll be glad to make a video, roll the watchstones myself, spending my currency, and basically show you my take on how I farm that area, so you can take and push that to extremes on whatever level you want to. But yep, without further ado, this has been Chaos-Reighn. I do appreciate you joining me, and as always, everyone, take it easy and have a good one.